Many probably know him for his red Nintendo 2DS, but he's also an award-winning filmmaker. He's mastered developing work from home setups during the COVID-19 pandemic, and he seems to attract a lot of stray cats for some reason. Ray is most known for his YouTube channel where he reviews tech gear, video games, and the occasional tutorial for, at this time, nearly 80,000 subscribers, and he's about to get revealed. This is a video part of an ongoing series that I like to call Revealed. As with every YouTube video, if you like what you see here, please help me appease the algorithm gods by leaving a like and subscribe. I have a list of guests that I'll be doing this with, ranging from artists to YouTube personalities to Twitch streamers, all involved somehow in the gaming world. So hi, how are you, Ray?
What's up, Aaron? I'm good. How are you?
Um, Good. I had some cookie dough before we started, so I am ready, I think.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm all fueled up on I actually had tacos before this.
Oh,
So
I had tacos for
yeah.
lunch.
Ooh, tacos are good. I like tacos.
Yeah,
Revealed fact number one. I like
review.
tacos.
There we go. So, I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me right now. You and I have gotten to know each other pretty well, mostly over the course of the pandemic, but nonetheless, I appreciate you and respect the work that you put out. The point of this series is to have conversations and show people a more human side to artists and creators, and at the same time, maybe introduce people to not just my stuff, but also the content of the person that I'm speaking to. And I've noticed usually when people are interviewed, it's not very personable and they get asked the same 5 questions. So I'm hoping to show people the Ray that they should know.
Right on. I love it. Let's do it.
So you were born and raised in New Jersey. What was your childhood like? Who was Baby Ray? Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. Uh,
What are what age range are we talking about?
Age 0.
Age zero. Wow, I don't remember that far back. Um, but yeah, I was born and raised in New Jersey, central New Jersey, pretty close to New York, about half hour from the city. Um, yeah, I mean, my childhood was kind of very chill. I never really like had anything like major aside from like, of course, the major events, graduating school, all that. Also, like that's when I fell in love with Nintendo and all the like things that I love today. Like it all stems back to my childhood. So I have to thank my childhood for literally like everything, pursuing my passions, all that.
Yeah, I think our childhoods have a lot of I don't what significance on our future, I guess, or what we pursue. Not for all of us, but a good chunk of us, I think.
Yeah.
So when would you say that you found an interest in filmmaking?
That actually didn't come along until later on. So that was, I would say, 2009 or so. Like before that, I dabbled like with like camcorders and all that. I had the DVD camcorder, which
Yeah,
was
yeah,
horrendous,
I had one
horrendous
of
to
those
get
too.
horrendous to get files off of. But that was actually the first camera that I like picked up and like dabbled with, like filming music videos we would do here, like just put on a song, I would dance with my dad, sister, things like that. It was fun. You can still find them online somewhere.
Oh no.
uh, yeah. I leave them up because they're entertaining. They're good to go back to and watch, like where you started and things like that.
Yeah.
But after that, like I remember my parents got a point and shoot camera, and that's when I kind of started like watching wrestling as well. Like I wasn't like a long time wrestling fan, but I've always been a wrestling fan. So that's when I started like doing like the backyard wrestling things, and that's when I started YouTube. So that's we're probably getting a little too far ahead of ourselves, but yeah, that's basically how it all started. It was just like finding a camera and like saying, oh, I could do this too. So yeah.
Yeah, when I was little, I used to make these terrible home movies with my brother and neighbors of mine. We would create skits, and I can't really recall any specifically, but I remember having a lot of fun, and that was probably one of my first experiences creating something.
Yeah, that's the best too, because you realize like that's like the precious moments that you really like look back on. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes like I'm speaking like in YouTube like life here, but like you're not going to go back to watching like your tech review from like 5 years ago. It's just like kind of sitting there. But
Yeah.
that like family dance videos like always at the back of your mind, like wow, that's funny.
Yeah.
If I want a good laugh, I'll go back and watch that.
Yeah, and I'm definitely thankful for like my mom creating scrapbooks, you know?
Hmm.
Did your
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
So
great stuff.
how about what about video games? When did you start playing those?
I believe that was the I don't know the exact year,
Exact
but it was
date, month, year.
the exact time too,
Yeah.
AM PM.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely too sure about the year, but I do know the circumstances of how it happened. That was when I got my tonsils out. Um, so it's maybe 97, 98 might have been. That's when my dad, he got me a N64. So I was playing Mario Kart 64, which was the first video game that I ever played. And I just like fell in love with it. Like it was addicting. I blame my dad for my video game addiction
Yeah.
because that's literally like how it started. It was a gift, I wasn't at the point where I could afford a system. I mean, if I did chores and all that, but I wasn't like actively like saving up at like 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah. I blame my parents too. I was born into video games. They already had a Super Nintendo and they were playing before I was born, so it's all their fault.
Yeah, yeah. My parents had a NES that was I remember distinctly remember in a it was a burgundy bag. It was branded too by Nintendo, and they had like the cartridge cases and all that. So I was like, "Where's this hiding? Where's this thing hiding?" I like kept like after the N64, I kept going back to like, where could I find this? It was like the mystical system that I kept hearing about, but
Yeah.
I never knew where it was.
So tying both filmmaking and video games together, I recall you mentioning something about entering a contest for the Wii U. You had to make some sort of advertisement, right? And
Yeah,
you won.
yeah, yeah. That was probably, I don't want to say the peak of YouTube because I'm still doing it, but it was definitely when like the 2DS was like soaring, like the content that I was making. 2DS was soaring, Wii U was doing really well, and yeah, Nintendo had this contest. It was the pitch for Wii U. It was pretty cool. Basically, you just had to make a video and talk about why the or what the Wii U could bring to you. Basically, you had to make like a video commercial for it. So that was actually the night before the deadline. I found out. So I found out about like maybe 6 or 7 o'clock, and it was due by midnight. Luckily, they were 3 hours behind on the West Coast, so
Oh,
that helped out. Um, but I did it, and I didn't expect to win, but it did. And I went to LA for it. They filmed a commercial there, like an official commercial, and I was behind the scenes there doing it, and actually not like working or anything, but just like hanging out. And they sent over a whole bunch of Wii U stuff, and it was cool. It was cool. It was definitely like the defining moment of my content creating career. It was cool. It was a lot of fun.
yeah. I kind of wonder like what other people sent in because you only had like what, 6 hours?
Yeah, well, that's when I found out. It was actually running for a few weeks prior to that,
Yeah.
and I saw they tweeted it out or like sent a reminder or something. I was like, oh my goodness, I need to do this.
Well,
I'm glad I did.
I did watch it before talking to you, so I I'll put a link in the description for people who might want to watch it. There was a
Cool.
comment that you wrote on that commercial pitch that said, quote, "When I make YouTube videos, I don't do it to get noticed or get attention. That's the last thing on my mind. I do it because I love. Love is all capitalized. What I do." Expressing myself, having fun, and entertaining you. So no matter what happens from this point on, always remember it's not about me, it's about you. And I feel like that's always held true for you, but have you ever experienced burnout, and how do you combat that?
Yeah, that was that's actually still very true because like that's my whole purpose behind doing what I do. Like I love the process. I actually just recorded a video before this. I have like an opportunity for an ad spot in a video, which is pretty cool. And I was talking about like the process, how I love the process, and that's like my passion. You know, it's my bread and butter. That's what I love to do. So of course there's a lot of like work too that's involved, so like I don't see it as work, I see it as fun. So the work is just crazy sometimes. It's a lot. And you know too, Aaron, from like streaming, I added streaming onto my pile of stuff to do. And that's when I felt the burnout, and that was actually last month, early last month, or maybe end of June possibly. But yeah, the burnout was definitely like something I never really felt before because I don't know. It was just maybe another layer of stuff like work and then YouTube and then streaming. I really don't know, but like I felt it. Like I hear other creators talk about burnout, but I never felt it.
Yeah.
So to feel it was kind of different, something I wasn't really used to.
Ugh.
And I combated it by taking a break from streaming,
Yep.
and it helped.
I feel like that's the only way.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's definitely not something I'm used to, and it's probably not something that like most creators are used to. So when it hits them, it's just like, what is going on? You know, why do I not feel motivated?
Yeah, it's either you take a step back or you find something else to work on to distract you from whatever you were working on before.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Don't stack yourself with too much work.
Yeah.
That's my pro tip.
Yeah. Well, you've been doing this for about 12 years. You really see how much you've grown as a person and a creator when you compare the content you made back then to what you produce now. 12 years ago, you were calling yourself Dark Link 809 and making videos about WWE. I know nothing about wrestling, but what was it that told you you should make videos about your title belt collection and start a YouTube channel?
Oh man, that was an interesting time. If it wasn't for, I guess going back a little bit, if it wasn't for eBay and like looking at like WWE replica belts, I don't think I would have had a solid start on YouTube because those videos actually did really well. But besides the point, I basically just really loved watching wrestling at the time. That's when I first started. And like I was watching backyard wrestling videos on YouTube, which was probably not a very smart thing to do, to say I could mimic it, because that's what I said. But yeah, these people were like very brutal. It was brutal stuff. Those of you guys who like Google or YouTube backyard wrestling, it's intense stuff. But I thought that I could do better by like making a series that would have a lot that would involve storytelling, basically. You know, like kind of like WWE, they would have like their storylines, things like that. So my goal was to basically make something that was entertaining, something that people would like to see, and something that involved wrestling too. So that turned into XBWF, which was the first series on YouTube that I ever did. And that's when my channel got hit with copyright claims for music.
Oh no.
Yeah, but luckily the videos were still there. Like people really liked them. It was 25 part series, so it was pretty intense. But I would come home every weekend from college to film it, and that's really what got me familiar with like video editing and filming. So that I really have to give credit to that being the process that taught me everything that I know today, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, I think I think MySpace for introducing me to taking pictures, because I probably would have never, taken those MySpace selfies without it.
Yeah.
um, what do you think the biggest misconception of you is?
Biggest misconception. I think it's that because of my channel, I think people think I'm like hyped all the time and like a super hyper person.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, I could come across that way, like maybe it's the way I talk or something like that, but I'm not always hyper. I do get hyped, I do get excited, but I'm not like that all the time, like in my videos. It's just the way I basically cut the videos to like make them seem fast paced.
Yeah.
So my
I'd
lifestyle is fast paced, but it's not like, oh, Ray's always on the move. He's always super hyper, It's not like that.
I'd be very
It's
concerned if you were that
yeah.
hyper all the time.
Yeah, definitely not. Which goes back to the streaming part and burning out. Like it's hard to put on that personality and be entertaining,
Yeah.
an extra hour a week or two or three.
Ugh. So other than your recent outdoor adventures, I believe the last big event you traveled to was for the Luigi's Mansion 3 party that Nintendo had for you guys. Uh, can
Uh, Maybe that might have been the last Nintendo one. Wasn't
okay,
the last event.
but like one that you traveled to.
Yeah, last one that I dropped. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
cross country.
yeah. Can you like reminisce and tell me what that was like for you?
That was another one of those like mind-boggling experiences because like as a creator, you don't expect things. Like I when I say I literally like came from nothing, like filming wise, YouTube wise, I literally like started nowhere. I had no idea what was going to go on. I had no idea how to operate a camera, no idea how to edit videos. I had no idea like what was going to happen. I didn't expect anything to come of it. I just really like wanted to have fun with making videos and things like that. Basically, take those music videos like with the family that I was talking about earlier to like, you know, try something different. So you don't expect much, but when things like that event come along, it's just like, wow, like this is like happening. You don't expect it, but one day it's in your inbox and you're like, oh my gosh, this is too much. But that event though, the Luigi Mansion 3 was easily one of my favorite ones. It was such a good event. They put on the whole haunted mansion theme at the I forget what venue it was, but it was a theater, restaurant, some kind of like event venue. It was really cool. So you walked in, there was a whole bunch of smog. They had I believe there were actors in costume as a hotel concierge, and they had the big ghost. They had the poltergust. That was a fun event. It was a lot of fun. I miss them.
Yeah,
I miss events.
I saw all the coverage. It looked really cool. That was probably one of the Halloween parties that I was disappointed I was not invited to.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Very
Uh,
cool. And I actually stayed an extra day on that trip. And what did I do? Oh, I toured Warner Brothers by myself. I did like a whole like excursion by myself and like did like studio tours, walked to the Griffith Observatory, all that. So that's what I like doing too, just like adventuring by
yeah,
myself
yeah,
sometimes, just
yeah,
for fun.
yeah. Uh, how have you been dealing with the pandemic? Like, what's changed for you, and what kind of things have you learned?
A lot. I think this past year taught me like more about myself than I ever really knew. I think that's probably true for a lot of people too. Um, but for me, it really like put things into perspective. Like now I can actually like save money. I don't have to worry about commuting. I don't have to worry about like traveling to an event, like that seemed to happen before the pandemic almost every week. It was really crazy with like with all the launch events and everything. And yeah, it just like made me like put things into perspective of how I want to live as far as like my lifestyle and things like that. So I created my desk setup, which It's a pretty popular series now on YouTube.
Yeah. What version
um,
are you on now?
oh, like 8, I think 9. That, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like everything is happens for a reason, I think.
Yeah.
So for me, I've been dealing with it. It's been rough, like some at some points, but for the most part, I feel like it was beneficial here on my end, just for like helping me get to the next phase of
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, definitely. While a lot of terrible things have happened in the last 2 years, I do feel
Hmm.
like it's been a blessing in disguise for some parts.
Yeah, yeah. It's horrible. It's very horrible what's happening, but there's people still like working from home. Everything people can work from anywhere. So I feel like in that sense, it's beneficial.
Yeah. Um, has anyone ever recognized you in public because they follow you on social media?
I've had that happen a few times actually. One at Comic Con. I remember someone just shoved the camera in my face, wanted to take a picture, take a selfie with them. Where else it happened? Oh, it happened at a WWE event in New Jersey, and that was interesting because I got called Stingray, which was like my name before. I just changed everything to my real name.
Yeah.
And where else? Happened at E3 a few times, and that's all I remember.
But like
It definitely has happened.
not anyone in like a grocery store recognizing you, right?
No,
No.
haven't had that thrill yet.
Yeah. Um, what would you say your proudest moment so far in life has been? Not like related to YouTube necessarily, but in general.
I would have proudest moment. That's tough because everything, literally everything, is because of YouTube.
Mm,
All my proud moments. Um, I don't know. My job is related to how I got it. It's related to YouTube. Events, all that, awards. I have no, I have no proud moments, Aaron.
Oh
I have
no.
no.
Okay, well that's the
I
end of
don't
this
know.
interview.
Maybe,
Thanks for watching.
maybe. I guess graduating college, right? That's a good one.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, not for me
Going,
personally, but
going into debt. That's a
oh
good thing.
yeah, yeah, wonderful.
Yeah, yeah. I need to think about that one more. I'll let you know. I'll let you know.
Okay,
Don't
okay.
worry.
Well, to be announced. Let's see. Um, if Kirby were to gain your ability, what would it be?
Oh, oh. Um, I would say he would have energy. Like we
Energy.
talked about, like being hyped. We talked about all that before. Like I would consider myself a pretty hyperactive person, multitasking at work in that kind of regard. But yeah, he would definitely gain the ability to multitask and do like 5 things at once and be excited about it, even if it's dreadful and horrible and
Yeah,
miserable
yeah.
or like daunting work.
Okay.
So sorry, Kirby. Sorry.
I feel like Kirby is usually pretty happy though.
Hmm. Yeah.
Even if he's facing some like doomsday event.
Yeah. Which I think too, like Nintendo was my childhood. I don't know if we're gonna get to like a question like this later. But like the characters in Nintendo, they're always like happy and positive. So I think that's where I got like, my lifestyle from, like thinking of everything in like a positive sense and like smiling and things like that. Like Kirby.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. So now we're going to play a game, kind of. This is what I mentioned to you before about having your phone ready. So I'm going to be sending you some pictures and you're going to react to them. I did a deep dive on social media and I picked out things that stuck out to me.
Uh-oh.
There's gonna be some pictures of people that you might know and some pictures that I just want more information about. So, you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay, so
I'm eagerly waiting.
let me get this set up on my end. Okay, so picture number one should be a character that you recognize. You just tell me how you feel about him.
About Mario?
Yeah.
Oh, I like Mario. Mario's great. Mario's my favorite video game series. Like, I got Mario as my pillow on my bed back there. Mario's, yeah, great. Like, again, goes back to like the lifestyle. Like, oh, he's so happy, positive. Love
Okay.
it.
Yeah. So this next picture is probably one of my favorite pictures of you. Um, you'll see.
Uh-oh, I'm afraid.
Okay, there it is.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah. So I don't know, how'd you come up with that? Like, how long did that take you to make?
That did not take very long at all. What's interesting is I have like a movie prop bin full of like things, weird stuff from like my old videos back in the day. So I had that trench coat and I just put sunglasses on and Webbs did my hair to like look a little poofy.
Yeah.
And I got that thing printed out. Where did I get? Maybe Staples. Yeah, Staples. I got it printed out as, and I put it on a poster board, cut it out, and went from there. It wasn't the best cutout. You could tell a little in the picture, but yeah, that was a hot cosplay. That was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, that was really cool when I saw it.
That had to have like stole the show or at least came close because I made it onto Reddit.
Oh, really?
I did. I had a speaker actually clipped to my belt and it was playing the song.
Well, you would win an award in my eyes for that one.
Thanks,
Um,
Aaron. Thank you.
okay, next picture is someone that you should definitely recognize, and if you don't, it's probably really bad.
Oh, that's Webbs.
Yeah, give us some facts about her,
Facts about her. Like what kind of facts?
or just how do you feel about her?
Like a Carfax?
Yeah,
Carfax report
yeah,
on Webbs. She's the best. I love Webbs. She it's really not fair how good she treats me because at times I feel like I don't deserve it. With all the times like I don't want to say make fun, but like I'm a sarcastic person, so I always like poke jokes all the time, and yeah, she puts up with my nonsense, and she's the best, and I feel like I don't deserve her again.
well, I'm sure she feels like you do deserve her. So what's this outfit that she's got going on?
That is a Charlotte Flair cosplay. WWE wrestler. She's got the belt. What's interesting is she actually, Charlotte Flair, the wrestler, she saw the cosplay and she followed her on Twitter. So they had a little exchange, which was pretty cool.
Uh, yeah.
And I think she got that custom made in, I think, Russia off Etsy. It came from. So it's a pretty extravagant thing.
I can only imagine how much that costs because, like, I follow a lot of drag queens who, they get their custom made outfits and they could be like thousands of dollars.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. That one I don't think was too much. I think it was under 1,000.
Well,
I hope. I think if my memory is correct, I think it's under.
well, it looks good. So this next picture is of something you've recently got, and I feel like I don't know, maybe you're really happy with it. We'll see.
Oh, my kayak. Yeah, I love my kayak. Yeah, that thing is awesome. I feel like I come when I talk about things like that on my channel, I feel like it like comes from out of the blue. Like, oh, Ray like has a bike. He's talking about a bike. He
Let,
likes biking.
let's
Wow.
send him
Ray
a
has a kayak.
kayak.
Yeah, Ray has a kayak. He's talking about kayaking. Why does he like kayaking? We're supposed to be watching video game videos. Like, so I feel like it comes out of the blue. But yeah, I love that thing. That thing is awesome.
You have to be doing videos on like Wave Race now.
Right. Oh, I'm just if anybody's watching that has like a jet ski to offer, I would totally like
Jet
totally
ski,
totally review a jet ski. Think of the collaboration opportunities.
or just a giant boat. Okay, this next picture is one of you. Just explain what's going on here.
Oh, yeah, I'm a cop. That was a very interesting day because this production company they reached out to I think it was my dad. They reached out and they asked if they could film at our house, and they literally filmed an entire show at our house, which was pretty cool. It was just like part of like one scene. They filmed like the other parts at other places, but that was cool. And actually, like was working from home that day and they actually no, I was off actually. Yeah, this was last year before everything locked down. So I had the day off, and they actually asked me if I wanted to be in the episode, and I was like, sure. So I had their whole like wardrobe thing in our back porch, and I was a cop. I became a cop, and I was part of the episode. It
What show
was
was
cool.
this?
Homicide City. It's like one of those like investigative shows where they talk about like real crimes that happened and they reenact them.
Yeah, and they thought you'd make a good cop.
I guess I had the face of a cop.
All right. Well, I guess you could always take that up if your job ever falls through.
Yeah, or yeah, that or an actor. I could be an actor, I guess. An actor cop.
Yeah. Let's see. Next picture has you in it, but it also has someone else.
Oh, Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk.
Yeah. Well,
Do a kick flip.
how'd this happen? Where did this happen? Why?
That was at a Verizon event. What's interesting about these past two pictures is that they were before, like literally right before everything shut down.
Yeah.
So I feel like I was doing like so many cool things, and then like everything locked down and everything. Um, but that was actually at a Verizon event, and that day they actually like sent a car and everything like to pick me and Webbs up. So it was pretty wild. I was like, what's going on? I didn't know much about the event. I didn't know what was going on, what was happening. And it turned out to be like one of those like best events that I like to like kind of have like a little like list for in my mind of like the events that stand out. And there were quite a bit of people in there. And I was like, that guy looks like Tony Hawk. It's totally got to be Tony Hawk. And it was. And it was cool. Tony Hawk was just chilling there. He was, I believe, one of the guests at the event, and I forget what it was actually for, like what product specifically. Um, but it was just very cool experience too. Like your childhood hero, Tony Hawk, who does all the like half pipes and all that stuff, things I wish that I could do. Like he's right there and he's still going doing his thing, which is pretty wild. That was cool. That was fun.
Uh, Next picture is of something I have a lot of questions about.
Oh, yikes.
Did this actually happen, or was this like a joke?
No, that that did happen. I was on American Ninja Warrior.
Really? Were you like on the actual show?
I was. The thing about it was I the way it happened, the way my experience on the show went, that I didn't actually see it on the show, so it didn't make the cut.
Oh.
But yeah, that was like right after the was it? I think it was right after the pitch for Wii U contest. So I was like, kind of like, wow, all these things are happening at once. And yeah, me and my dad went to Colorado for that. And the first thing that happened, like I was like all psyched, I was hyped, I was ready to go. I knew I could do it. But then you get there, and then like the course is so much bigger than you expect it to be. And I was prepared. I got over my intimidation a little bit. And then I got disqualified.
Why?
I got disqualified because apparently you can't grab the back of one of the things. So in the beginning, they have like these steps that go like they're angled and they go like this and they're over water.
Yeah.
And the obstacle was wet. So this happened to the person in front of me too. It was wet from rain. And I was slipping down it. So I grabbed onto the back instead of falling into the pool of water. And the other person before me, they fell into the puddle or pool of water, whatever, and they got soaked. And it was like 30 degrees outside, or pretty cold outside over in Colorado. But yeah, I grabbed onto the back and I got disqualified, unfortunately, because I slipped because they didn't wipe down the obstacle. Boo.
Darn. You could have. Do they like give you prize money for winning? You could have been rich.
I could have. Yeah, I could have. But yeah, they do. I think it's I know for a fact I would have never made it to the end because it's just like you have to be like superhuman to do it all.
Oh yeah.
But I just like just the experience. Like I always loved the Japanese version of American Ninja Warrior. That was another part of my childhood that was like a jam. It was so good. But yeah, I think you win like 500,000 or $1 million,
Man,
something
I could
something
use
pretty big.
that. I could use that. I'm gonna go on the show.
That would be great. That would it would definitely be great.
I will.
Good luck, Aaron.
I'll
Make sure
redeem
they.
you. I'll redeem you.
Yes, please do. Make sure they wipe down the obstacles though if it rains.
Okay. Keep that in mind. Next picture is of an animal. It's very cute.
Milo.
Yeah.
I miss Milo.
Yeah, you did post a picture of like him grown now.
Yeah, yeah. Milo was very like it's one of those things that you just don't expect to happen, but it's like a memory that's going to stick with you forever. That actually happened at lunch on lunch break when I was in the office at work, and I was driving back from I think I went to the mall that day, and I was driving back. All of a sudden, I see like something right in front of my car. If I was like a foot ahead, I would have hit the poor little guy.
Aw.
But he ran so fast across, and I was like, that wasn't a squirrel. That was definitely a cat. So I parked my car, and I went back to work, and I went back out afterwards because like I couldn't live with myself if it was a like a kitten out there because I was in the middle of winter too. So I went back out and I didn't see him. And then I looked a little closer and there he was underneath. It was an apartment complex. So there was like a porch pretty low to the ground, like for the first floor apartment. And underneath, there he was underneath hiding from the rain. So I was a little hesitant to grab him because he was like hissing and all that. And then I called Webbs on the phone. She was at work and she was like, oh, what's the matter? I was like, I found this stray kitten. And I eventually like got the courage to like pick him up. I didn't want to get scratched or anything. And I went back into my office with the cat in my hand. I'm surprised I'm all good from this thing that I did, but they gave me a box for the cat, and then I was able to take her or him to the vet. Luckily, so it all worked out.
And then he got his photo shoot.
Yeah, he got his photo shoot, and he was very photogenic. Now he's in a great home
Yeah, he
with a bunch.
he looks happy.
Yeah, they have a whole family with little kids, and they actually gave Milo as a Christmas gift to the kids. So I was
Oh.
like, oh my gosh, this whole story just keeps on getting better.
Next picture is of a figure. Not really anything too like specific to you, but you have another Instagram account called Nintendo Vibes, and I enjoy seeing pictures of like stuff like this from you. And I don't know, I just wanted to bring it up. Do you have any like plans of reviving it?
I would love to bring it back. I think that's something I continuously like forget about. But like when I was doing it, I was like all over it. I think for me, it's really just finding something good to take a picture of because I know I can't compete with yours or like Kylie's or anything like that. But I love taking pictures like of things like Nintendo amiibos or figures from my childhood, things like that. I didn't really expect it to be anything that page. It was kind of like one of those things, another one for fun. And it took off quite well. And I think maybe I'll get back into it. I have a lot of new stuff. I feel like I was like always using the same locations and I was always using the same figures. So I wanted to, I don't know, just try to do something a little bit different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would like to now that I have like a macro lens and everything.
Oh
That'd be
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that's the only thing I use now.
Yeah, they're great.
Why are you
Great.
why are you sending me emojis? Next picture is of another event you went to.
E3.
Yeah, the last in-person one. Are we gonna take a few seconds to mourn?
Yeah, mourn the loss of going to E3. That was cool. That was fun. I
Yeah.
just realized that that's like literally right before, or kind of right before I started growing a beard. So like I look totally different,
Yeah.
and also my head fits in with the zero.
Yep.
So it's like two race head, 1-9.
Yeah. I don't remember what was that E3.
That was Luigi's Mansion 3
Yeah.
and Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that was a great E3. That's when they started like changing it too, because they used to be like kind of invite only, like press, media, all that.
Yeah.
And that I think was the second year of the like consumer badge. So it was definitely like what's going on, like it was confusing in the sense with
Yeah.
like they had five different badges and like you didn't know what you could do, what you
Right.
couldn't do.
Yeah, I went in 2018. I'm pretty sure the first one was 2017. They let just like the general public in, and it was like it cost way too much.
Yeah.
I will
Oh
tell
yeah.
you that.
Yeah, it's expensive. The probably my favorite E3 was the first one that I went to, 2016. That was like when it was still like press only and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I got an invite from Nintendo to go that year, and it was like that was one of those another moment that like wow, my first E3. I always watched like the press conferences and things like that. So it was like an honor to be there.
Yeah, it was definitely like a bucket list thing for me to go. That's
Hmm.
why I paid to get in. But I
Yeah.
also it 2018 was a good year too because it had Smash Brothers, and
Hmm.
waiting in that hour line for like three different times I feel like was worth the money.
Wait, how come I didn't see you in 2018? I was there too.
I don't think we talked.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
I saw I think was it that year? Yeah, I think I saw Greg there twice.
Yeah, I didn't talk to him either. So I did meet Kylie that year. That was the first time I met her in person.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool people there.
All right. Last picture is kind of you, but also not you. I feel like this like kind of culminates everything because this picture you started using like last year or 2 years ago. I don't know. How do you
Yeah.
feel like having someone draw something of you?
That yeah, I did start using it last year, and it's awesome. I mean, that's actually a piece that I commissioned like as a for an icon.
Yeah.
So like no one actually it wasn't like fan art or anything like that. But yeah, that's like I want something that like represented like Ray now, and I wanted it to like have kind of everything that I love. So if you look, there's like Mario, Pokemon, Splatoon, Animal Crossing in the background. The color green is kind of like my new like favorite color for like clothing and things like that. The camera, the microphone, that combo right there, something always in my hand, and the Apple Watch for like to signify like gadgets and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like it like represents everything that Ray is all about now.
Yeah. Well, that's all the pictures I have. So, nothing too embarrassing, I don't think, right? Other than the
No.
um Ninja Warrior thing.
Oh, that's a good one. And the thing like really with like YouTube and like the my content creating is like I'm never really like ashamed of anything that I ever
Yeah.
made.
Yeah, that's good.
I just consider it to be like part of the process. And like looking back on it, it's like wow, I was on American Ninja Warrior, even though I didn't make the cut of the show. Like I auditioned and I got on the show.
Yeah.
So, you know,
And you
it's
at
cool
least
stuff to
got on the course. I think that's
yeah.
you made it. You did it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome stuff to look back on. So thank you. Thank you, Aaron, for
Yeah.
bringing these up.
Yeah. Um so we have questions from people. You kind of answered some of them, but I will go through things that you didn't answer. Well, Eric Stevenson asked, "How do you retain your relentless optimism?" Which I feel like you've already covered, but if you want to add anything, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like that really goes back to just like being motivated and having fun with it. You know, when you do something you like to do, you never really like work. It's cliche to say, but it's true. And I feel like as long as you're positive about what you're doing and like consider it part of the process to get to where you need to be, then you don't really like, consider it to be tough work or like, I don't know, something you're not proud of, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just have to like be passionate about what you're doing, and it goes back too to like the Nintendo characters. Like I grew up with Mario, all the iconic Nintendo characters, and they were always so positive and happy, and I feel like that represents my mentality all the time.
Well, getting into Melanie on Twitter asked, do you play games that aren't from Nintendo?
Do I play games that aren't from Nintendo? Yes, I play a lot of games. I play like Hades. That's a good one. What's another one? Fall Guys. Fall Guys was a lot of fun. Among Us. Among Us is a good one. And another one that yeah, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2.
Yeah. So
Just fresh off my mind.
do you own any other consoles besides Nintendo?
At the moment, I don't. For one, they're tough to find. For
Yeah.
two, I don't think I have enough bandwidth in my life with like work and everything
uh,
to actually play so many different games.
mhm.
I'm struggling to keep up with like in my videos. I always talk about the Wii U, not Wii U. Oh my goodness, the Switch backlog. I mean, the Wii U would have had a cool backlog too,
Yeah.
but
It's still alive.
uh,
It's still
it
alive.
is still alive. It is. It's just redeemed on the Switch now. It's
Yeah.
it's it's back to life in the Switch form. But yeah, like the backlog of Switch games that I always talk about, it's just always building up because I can't seem to finish games quick enough, and then another one comes out. So it's like tough to just keep up with work, life, all that stuff, and try and finish games.
Yeah, definitely. I still have games that I need to play from like the Super Nintendo era. Uh,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
um,
pretty far.
let's see. She also asked, favorite Nintendo franchise.
I would have to say Mario, Super
Mario.
Mario.
Do you have like a
Yeah.
specific Mario title?
Mm, for me, it was probably Mario Kart 64, just because it was that like first video game that you start playing and
Mm,
you're like, oh my goodness, this is like the first thing that's immersing me into this like whole world that I don't even know about. And that's what brought me in. It was Mario Kart and just like having friends come over and play it with me. So yeah, for me it was definitely the intense racing of Mario Kart.
yeah. Um, let's see. How do you go about your filming and editing process? This was from Anton Retro, who I recognize from Discord.
Yeah, Anton's awesome. He's always in the streams too. But that's it's tough because doing it for so long, you don't really like think about what you do. So for me, it's more or less just trying to stay on top of my ideas, which is something that really just like come to mind and I jot them down, and sometimes I get to them, sometimes I don't. So there's a lot of like video ideas that I have on paper, and I only have two hands to film. So if you want to go through the whole process, it's basically coming up with the script. All my videos are like scripted out. So I write down in my tone of voice what I'm going to talk about. I feel like, for one, like that's one of the things that I learned. It makes for a better product. It just feels more polished. So I script it out, and then I'll film the B roll, and then I'll film me talking, and then import all that footage, bring me talking in first, cut it down, and then cut up the B roll and then overlay it over me talking. So that's really the process from start to finish. I would say for me now, it's so much more efficient than what I used to do, because I used to burn myself out just like trying to find my groove doing it. But yeah, I feel like it's efficient and I can do more content now.
Yeah, following that question, another person, was it Ben Yem? Who I don't know who that is. Um, how do you get your ideas for your videos?
How do I get them? I feel like it really comes down to just thinking about what's relevant and what people want to see. So I feel like Nintendo Switch accessories, Nintendo games, top games. I don't really watch too much YouTube, so I don't like really like look at what other people are doing, but I like write them down. I like, from Twitter, looking at like new things that are coming out, things like that. So I don't know. It's hard to explain when it's just like happening in real time in your brain, if that makes sense. It's I don't know. This whole content creating thing is weird. It
Yeah,
really is.
yeah.
It's so much.
Ideas for me just kind of pop in my head, and
Hmm.
then I try to make it. um,
Yeah.
I think that's all the questions. So what's in the future for you? What kind of projects would you like to work on?
I am going to continue what I'm doing for now. I think the biggest thing that I want to do is basically get my own studio space. So I feel like that's my next big thing. There's a lot of like YouTubers who like, they get their own studio, their own filming space, things like that. So like I'm kind of inspired by that, and I want to definitely like take what I do to the next level. And it's like it's wild to think about, but like that passion for filmmaking and stuff like that, it's coming to a point where I can take it to the next level and do my own thing. So it's pretty cool. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool. But that's what's down in the pipeline at some point.
Yeah. Is there anything or anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to?
Let's give a shout out to Aaron. How about Aaron, the host?
Okay.
Yeah. Just thank you for having me on the show, first and foremost.
Sure.
Thank you for modding the chats on the live streams when I wasn't burnt out.
Yeah.
Thank you for just always being there to talk to and things like that. So I appreciate you.
Well, thank you for joining me and talking. You're a joy to have in my circle of people. We connected because I found your content, and like what attracted to me was I could really see like the passion behind all of it. I think you resonate with a lot of people for your perspective and the joy that you shine on things. Anyone that stumbled upon you in this large digital world is very fortunate, and I'm really excited to see what you do in the future. If it's more kayaking videos, then I'll watch those. I love you, and now this is where we say goodbye. But I think the most proper way to do this is the right way. So you can bring us out if you would.
Sure. Should I do my signature outro?
Yeah, your signature outro.
All right, let's do it. So, guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Be sure to follow Aaron and me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you want. And yeah, Aaron makes some pretty awesome photography. He does great stuff, and he's got this new show here, which you should totally subscribe to and check out. And yeah, I guess until the next one, we'll catch you later, right?
Yeah.
Peace.